What began as a state-orchestrated procession quickly morphed into a charged public spectacle, with mourners, officials, and hardline figures escalating rhetoric and signaling that the ritual could mark the start of a broader campaign of reprisal. In multiple speeches and chants during the ceremonies, hardline politicians and clerics invoked visceral slogans demanding retribution, framing retaliation as both a religious obligation and a political necessity to avenge perceived injuries to the nation. Observers noted numerous indicators of a vengeful mood, from explicit calls for punitive action to displays of militant symbolism and organized calls for coordinated responses, all suggesting the proceedings served as a platform to mobilize and legitimize retaliatory measures.
Today that we are here for the funeral for our leader, it's a very tough day. We are not here to say goodbye to him, we are here for revenge. And we will take revenge. This is one of the most difficult days. We never thought someday we'll be here to attend the leader's funeral.
What began as an orchestrated media storm from hardline outlets quickly hardened into explicit calls for revenge, with several state-aligned newspapers openly demanding retribution for the killing of the former supreme leader. Some Iranian outlets demanded that those responsible for Ali Khamenei's death be targeted, publishing lists of suspects and urging security services and militias to locate, pursue, and punish individuals blamed for the assassination. The calls for revenge came as Ali Khamenei's funeral ceremonies were underway in Tehran, turning mourning events into platforms for mobilizing public anger and pressuring authorities to promise swift and uncompromising retaliation. Ultra-conservative newspaper Asari Iranian ran the headline "Blood for Blood," using stark, emotive language to signal that retaliation was both an expected and uncompromising response to the leader's killing. The newspaper said retaliation is both a right of the people and a duty of officials, arguing that popular demands for vengeance and state obligations to defend the nation are mutually reinforcing justifications for punitive action. Another hardline publication, Nobonyad, asked why those responsible shouldn't be killed, framing extrajudicial retribution as a morally and politically defensible option in response to what it portrayed as an intolerable crime. Details of the calls for revenge were reported by Iran International on July 6, which documented headlines, editorials, and public reactions that together painted a picture of mounting pressure for violent reprisals. Meanwhile, IRGC-linked Fars News described the scenes at Khamenei's funeral processions in vivid terms, emphasizing chants, banners, and the atmosphere of collective anger that accompanied the state ceremonies. The IRGC news site claimed everyone was carrying red flags of revenge, portraying the displays as a unified, performative expression of national grief that simultaneously signaled a readiness for retaliation. Red flags used in Shiite symbolism are often associated with calls for vengeance, the report noted, explaining that the color and iconography historically evoke martyrdom and the demand for justice in ways that can be mobilized for contemporary political ends. Calls for revenge came as Iran continued state funeral rites for Khamenei across Tehran, with cities and institutions staging ceremonies that reinforced both mourning and the political narrative of justified retribution. Thousands of Iranians gathered in Tehran for the funeral procession of late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Large crowds filled the streets to pay their final respects. Mourners lined the roads near Imam Hossein Square and in Gelab Square. Many waited for hours to witness the procession. Crowds waited for a final glimpse as Ali Khamenei's coffin was carried through the streets. Many waved flags and recited prayers as it passed. The funeral procession is expected to pass through several major streets of Tehran. Security has been tightened along the entire route. Ali Khamenei's coffin is being carried on a flatbed truck through the capital. The vehicle is moving slowly to allow mourners to pay their respects. Mourners waved Iranian flags, chanted slogans, and offered prayers during the procession. Many were seen openly grieving as the convoy passed. Iranian authorities have closed several major roads for the funeral procession. Traffic restrictions are expected to remain in place throughout the ceremonies. Airspace restrictions have also been imposed during the funeral events. The measures are intended to support security arrangements. The Iranian government has suspended normal activities during the official mourning period. State institutions are observing the national ceremonies. The late Supreme Leader ruled Iran for 37 years before his death at the age of 86. He was one of the country's longest-serving leaders. Iran has organized a week of state mourning, including processions across Iran and Iraq. Memorial events are being held in multiple cities. The final burial is scheduled to take place at the Imam Reza Shrine in Mashhad. The ceremony is expected to conclude the official mourning period. The ceremonies come at a critical moment for Iran's leadership. The country is also navigating major regional and political challenges. Iranian officials have described the mourning as a symbol of national unity. They say the ceremonies reflect public respect for the late leader. The events are expected to continue through Thursday on July 9th, before the final burial ceremony of Iran's late supreme leader. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in Iran for prayers honoring the late supreme leader Ali Khamenei. Mourners dressed in black carried flags and banners paying tribute to Khamenei through the streets of Tehran on July 4th. Some in the crowd also chanted anti-US slogans and displayed signs calling for the killing of Donald Trump. The rally coincided with Trump's address marking the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. Iranian President Pezeshkian and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf attended the national mourning prayers. Revolutionary Guard Chief Ahmad Vahidi and Quds Force Commander Esmail Khani were also present at the ceremony. Khamenei's sons, Mostafa, Masoud and Maisam Khamenei, made their first public appearance since the war. Mojtaba Khamenei did not appear at the ceremony despite succeeding his father as Iran's supreme leader. New intelligence claims have alleged that Iran's Quds Force has formed a special operations unit known as Mukhtar for covert missions. The Quds Force, the foreign operations arm of Iran's powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, has been placed at the center of the report. The report further alleged that the Mukhtar unit is plotting assassination attacks against senior U.S. officials. U.S. President Donald Trump is reportedly among the high-profile figures identified as an alleged target. The report also claimed the unit operates with the support of Mexican cartels as well as members of the Iranian diaspora. Its alleged modus operandi involves deploying members of the Iranian diaspora inside the United States to carry out operations. These serious allegations were first reported by Israel's Channel 14 news network in an exclusive report. The report has not been independently verified by Hindustan Times at this stage. No official confirmation of these claims has been issued by the United States, Iran, or Israel. These allegations therefore remain unverified and should be treated as claims pending official confirmation. On July 4th, Iran's Foreign Intelligence Ministry also vowed to avenge the killing of the late supreme leader. Iran's intelligence ministry has vowed to avenge Ali Khamenei's killing amid the funeral ceremonies, turning grief into a powerful call for retaliation. Tehran blamed the US and Israel for Khamenei's assassination, according to Iran International, and said only revenge can heal the wounds of the Iranian people. The ministry pledged retaliation against those it holds responsible for Khamenei's death, raising the tone from accusation to open threat. The statement also reaffirmed loyalty to Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, signaling that Iran's leadership wants to project unity and continuity. Iran vowed revenge for the blood of Khamenei and other victims of the strikes, framing the conflict in deeply emotional and uncompromising terms. Tehran referred to the clashes as Iran's second and third imposed wars, accusing Israel and the US of waging war against the Islamic Republic. The ministry said its pursuit of revenge would continue under Mojtaba Khamenei, suggesting a long-term response rather than a one-off warning. The statement was released by Iran's state media on Saturday, July 4, 2026.